Masking transitions look really cool. They're used in movies, they're used in TV shows, and they add a lot of pizzazz to your videos. So today I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can create a masking transition in Final Cut Pro for free without the need of any plugins. And it's helpful to know both methods because sometimes one works and the other doesn't. So without further ado, let's cut out this way too much fluff and let's hop into it. By the way, stick around to the end because I think you may think the last effect looks the coolest. So we have 2 shots here. We have one shot of my buddy Teppo walking, and we have this palm tree that goes by the camera. This is a great instance to create a masking transition, probably the perfect instance because it's something that wipes across the whole frame. So that means we can basically cut out everything to the right of the tree and then have this shot show up underneath it in its place. So the first method is using the draw mask effect. So if you head to your effects browser and then you type in draw mask, we got to make sure we have all video and audio selected. We just double click to apply this. These are basically scissors in Final Cut Pro. It allows you to cut things out in your shot. So if we make a selection here, and I need to probably make this a little smaller. If we make a selection here of our palm tree, and I'm kind of going to make it jagged to fit the palm tree. The more points you make, the harder it's going to be if that object is moving across the frame in weird ways. But it also is going to end up looking better because it's going to be more formed to your shot. Now, something else to point out, which I know this is going to be useful to some of you. If you hold Command on one of these points, you can make it a curved point. So really useful if it's not like these jagged edges. And then usually what I like to do is create a huge box here, and you'll see why. So this cut everything outside of the box, but we actually want it to be the other way around. So we'll just go to our inspector window and hit invert mask. So now we have everything to the right of this tree trunk cut out. So if we put this underneath, you'll see that this shot is now visible. The problem is we still need to animate this mask because right now it's just static. So this is usually what takes the longest. The more complex the object that you have in your shot, the longer it's going to take. An instance like this where it's like a tree trunk that's coming across the frame, or if you have a person that's coming across the frame, you can do this very quickly. So go to your transform and control points, and you are going to click all these buttons here. This basically saves any adjustment that you make, and then you'll reposition your mask here. Something else that helps is switching the view to original so you can see the actual object. And then here I'm actually going to rotate it. So let me go to rotation and rotating here. Okay, do a couple frames. Swing this over. Now, for the sake of time, I'm being quite lazy as far as these points. You could, if you wanted it to look very good, reposition these different points, and that's going to create a more realistic look. So just for this example, I'll do just these few points here, and then we'll swing this off completely. And so basically, this is the cutout of the image. So we have this part all is going to be cut out. Everything inside of this red box. And we need to make sure, notice how I kind of messed up there. This needs to come off, or it needs to cover this area completely, this box. So let's zoom back out. Let's make this box a little bit larger. And we want to make sure we get this last bit of the tree and then completely cover the frame. So now what you can do is just press Control right click and hit lift from storyline, or press the keyboard shortcut Option Command and up arrow. It's a pretty useful shortcut to remember, in my opinion. And we're going to drag this underneath. Maybe, whoops, I didn't realize that was the end of the clip. There we go. Oh, notice something. This is still the original clip, and that's because we forgot to change view to composite. So now we have this shot here, and it's working with the motion of the next shot. And there's a few things we can do to really sell this effect. One of them being add some feathering to this tree because that looks like trash. So we're going to go to our inspector window, go to the draw mask effect that you have. And I think it's going to be best if we feather in quite a lot here. If I go frame by frame, it's kind of blurry, which is nice. And there's something else we can do to help sell this a little bit more. I'm going to press B to cut this gap clip here and put everything into its own little house, almost like a little compartment to house our sequence. And we're going to press Option G to create a compound clip. And we're going to find that point where the tree trunk starts to come into frame. Head to our effects browser, and we're gonna click off this, go to blur, and double click to apply directional blur. Now we're gonna swing this to 0. We basically want the blur to increase the most when the tree trunk is going by. So let's just go a few frames over. So this should be the most blur that we see. And just take this little arrow and we'll blur everything together. And just notice how that makes it more seamless, because it's blurring not only shot 1, but also shot 2 over top. And then we have to make sure we bring that blur back down to 0, or else the rest of the shot will be blurry. So let's go perhaps right about here, and then swing this all the way down. So now we have something like this. The second way to create a masking transition is way faster, way easier, but doesn't always work. For example, in the last sequence, I tried this method I'm about to show you, and it didn't work because this tree is moving by too quickly. There's too much motion blur. So perhaps if I had adjusted my shutter speed so this is a little clearer coming by, it could have done a better job. But anyways, this method is by using the magnetic mask, which is a great tool that can help us to cut things out really easily, really quickly. So go to your magic wand icon, hit add magnetic mask, and you're just gonna select what you want to cut out. Now, some of you might be saying, what you got on your wall, Dylan? What the heck is this painting? If you know what this is from, please let everyone know in the comments. It is certainly one of my favorite movies. So if you want to deselect a part of the mask, like right here, we don't want to select the outside of this. Hold Option, and then just click. And we're not gonna get like the greatest results here. We kind of just have to deal with it, and then we'll use the feather to feather in to make it look a little bit better. So we'll hit Analyze, and what used to take hours now just takes a couple seconds. I mean, the fact that it's like going side to side as I'm walking forward with the camera and changing scale, with the draw mask effect, it would have taken an eternity. So then you hit Done. You're gonna go to your magnetic mask here. Actually, something we can do, this will actually save us time. Hold Option, we're gonna drag up. This is a good way to quick copy something in Final Cut. You just hold Option and you drag. We need to go to this little drop-down menu here, go down to Invert, and select this. You may know what we're doing here. We are connecting this shot and this shot. We're gonna push in to this picture frame and reveal this shot of this nice road here. And in order to do this, we need to press that keyboard shortcut, Option, Command, and up arrow, or once again, Control right click and lift from storyline. And we're just gonna drag this in maybe to right about here. So if I press V on this bottom clip, this is the inside of the picture, right? So first things first, I wanna add some feathering, just so it's a little smoother. Notice how that's kind of too jaggedy, too harsh. So let's go to Feather. Let's swing it in, and we're gonna do the opposite for this one. Well, notice this, you can see this here, but we can eliminate that just by doing that. So we're gonna animate this, and we can do that by going to our transform tool. We're gonna press the keyframe button in the top left here. This will save any change that we make, and we're gonna go a few frames over. It depends how fast we want this to raise up. So I'm thinking maybe right about here. Something you can do is go to this and just push up or drag up with the trackpad. You can also just do it manually on the viewport. And a little pro tip, because if you don't press this key, it'll go everywhere if you try and push up. Just hold Shift, hold Shift when you push up, and it will prevent you from going left or right. So nice little trick there. So we're gonna raise this up actually quite a lot. So let's see how that looks. We will need to adjust the size of this because you see that border around the viewport there. Okay, that's not bad. Of course, we'll make it look better, but for now, it's okay. Let's add some blur. So go to your effects browser, and you're gonna add some directional blur once again. We're gonna swing this all the way to 0. Since the frame isn't moving, you wouldn't expect any motion blur to be happening. So we'll start at 0, and we'll wait till the motion happens. The peak motion, probably right about here. Whenever you use any type of motion blur like this, you just want to determine how fast is that object moving, because that will help you to kind of think about how much blur to add. If something's moving really quick, you usually want to add more blur. If it's moving real slow, not much blur. So maybe even faster than this, I'm thinking. So let's go back to that one keyframe. and something right about there. We have all that set up. Let's take this bit and you throw it into a compound clip. And then the last thing we can do is add some blur to help make this look a little bit better. So let's add maybe we try focus blur, and we're gonna need to adjust the scale. You notice it's kind of blurring the edges and we can see the shot underneath. But we're gonna start at 0, and we would assume the camera would get close to blurring when it's kind of close to the edge of this frame. So let's press the keyframe button here so everything after this saves. And now it would start to get real blurry. It'd be the most blurry when it's right by the edge of this, but we still want it to look realistic. So something right about there, and we don't need to fade it out. So now it blurs a lot when it comes to that edge. But of course, we're seeing the outside. So we just increase the scale. And by increasing it, it removes that blurred edge that shows the shot underneath. So now we have this really nice transition through this picture frame, but there's a little pro tip for you. An even cooler look is to take everything you just did, throw it into a compound clip, which is once again basically like a little house, a little nesting box for a whole sequence or footage of clips. That way you can adjust everything at once. We can take that, head to the retime menu and hit reverse clip, and check this out. And you could even speed ramp it if you want. I mean, we're getting a little too deep here, but you just press Shift B to create a speed point. Find where you want to end it or get close to ending. Press Shift B again. We'll hit this little drop-down menu, reverse fast, maybe 8 times, and then this is our easing here. Let's make this nice and gradual. And if you want to do even more, you can always tweak things. You could add a zoom effect here, another free effect built into Final Cut. Change the look to variable, and we're going to find the point where, obviously this is way too much, so let's go down to first to 0, where it really picks up speed. So it's starting to pick up speed right here, so we'll hit the keyframe button so that anything after this, any change we make after this is saved, and we're going to increase the amount. So it's like we're getting some motion blur. And if I go a few frames to the left, you'll see what that's doing. So motion blur, and then maybe we stop it right here. So swing this back down to 0. So if I go frame by frame, it starts to pick up the pace, we see the motion blur, and it stops. 7 years creating Final Cut Pro content on this channel, and I would greatly appreciate your support. So do me a favor, press that subscribe button, and give this video a watch because I think you'll like it. Have a great rest of your day.